What is up, Light Fighters? Thank you for tuning in. As always, this is Light Fighters Anonymous, the show where the tactics are dangerous, the techniques are bad, and the procedures sound incredibly sarcastic. If you are anything like me, you live in a kind of small town or a suburb, and there is only one gym option available in your small town, and the primary paint theme is purple, and you are no longer welcome there. Many of my followers, shout out to you guys who are homesteaders. You guys live way out in the distance, way out in the county where a local gym is just not an option. There just isn't one. Or finally, for those of you guys that suffer in the lowest level of hell, the guys that spend out a lot of money every month on a premium gym membership full of nice equipment, but it is overcrowded by little broccoli-haired boys that are using the squat rack to not squat, or little gym girls with tripods and spandex so far up their coochie they can taste nylon. Well, this video is for you. Do not fret. We have some hope.
Eagle 2, this is Light Fighter 1-1. How copy? Over.
Contact! Contact!
1-1, this is Eagle 2. Good copy. Send traffic. Over.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging through the intro, and please don't mind my Haji pajamas. Today we are talking about fitness, and more specifically, fitness equipment. Yesterday, GruntProof posted a video talking about kind of the basics and kind of the entry-level stuff. He went into some barbell and some squat racks, and we'll get into that. But I think it was a topic worth a little bit deeper of a dive. I've been into fitness for a really long time. When I was a little kid, I was kind of a fat kid. I got into fitness and lifting and nutrition and all that stuff in high school when I was young. And I've just kind of been on a, the normal off and on journey throughout my whole life. But generally, I've kept a pretty high level of fitness, or definitely above average. I'm definitely not one of the psychopaths out there.
Oh, me, son! Yeah.
But I do keep a pretty high level of fitness. And I've started building my own gym. So that's kind of what we're talking about today, is building your own gym, what kind of fitness equipment you should get, and where you should get started. All right, guys, I brought you outside here because the outdoors is the first original gym. It's God's gym, and it is a great place to be working out. I encourage you to go get that sunlight and touch some grass whenever you can. I try to do my daily morning walks, obviously outside, and I use a rucksack for those, but we'll get into that in a second. So we're talking equipment, guys, and let's talk at a really base level. You don't have any money, or you don't want to spend any money, or you're just starting your fitness journey and you don't want to invest a ton in something you don't know if you're going to stick with or love. So what's the first thing you buy and you start with? And that is a little bit of a cliche. I'd be amiss to tell you if I didn't advise you to buy a good pair of shoes. So what I have here is some cross trainers, or I call them Go Fasters because it's funny to me. I learned that from some Army guys, but you don't need a huge big pair of combat boots to start walking or start rucking, guys. Walking long distances is human beings' superpower. We are upright, ambulatory creatures. We are not designed to run. Cheetahs are designed to run. We are designed to walk upright for long periods of time. It's how, our ancestors walked down and stalked prey. Either way, guys, our feet have changed since then, and we wear shoes. I'd advise you to get a good pair of shoes. Now, you do not have to spend a ton of money on an expensive pair like CrossFit brand or expensive cross trainers like these that work provides me, because I'm very lucky. But get something that's comfortable, that fits well. You can get them at Walmart, and they don't have to be crazy. They're $35 shoes available at Walmart, and they've got a Vibram Mark sole, so I believe they're probably a Vibram sole. And these are fine for walking in, okay? And walking is what I would encourage you to start your fitness journey doing. All right, so the next thing you guys can do that is super affordable to start your fitness journey is go find some odd, heavy objects, okay? So what I'm sitting on here is a big log that I saw down in my yard many years ago, and then I put some poly on it because I had some spare poly, and then some drag handles. It is right here. These drag handles, I just bolted in with some washers and some bolts. I put one on the top for drags, and I put these on the side for handles. This thing weighs about 105 pounds, and I had a lighter one, but I gave it to a buddy because I actually have some nicer equipment now. But you can find heavy, odd objects, and you can work out with them. This thing is easy. You can deadlift it with the handles. You can do rows with it. You can heave it up to your shoulder, and you can do squats with it, okay? So you don't have to have fancy equipment to start getting a workout in. So guys, find a big log.
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
Find a rubber boat to carry, or find any heavy odd object. These are some old ammo cans that are very available for usually about 10 bucks. And then for another $5 of concrete, you can make yourself a 45-pound weight for the cost of about 20-25 cents per pound. So 2 ammo cans that weigh about 45 pounds with concrete in them to do some farmer carries, or again, some one-arm rows. Anything that involves carrying or lifting, or just walking weighted is a great way to start getting into some fitness equipment.
Who's one more to carry the boats?
All right, so once your walks start getting easy and you want to start challenging yourself, guys, I'm a big proponent for rucking. Rucking is just a word for walking under a weight or with a burden. Some people say to honestly be rucking, you need to be wearing your combat gear and your boots. I don't believe that's so. I like going rucking every day. I think the best way to get into a rucking program or get consistent about it is enjoy it. So I always take a walk that I enjoy. I don't torture myself on my rucks. I go at a pace that I sometimes challenge myself, sometimes I don't, and that's completely fine. But I think the most critical part is that you still just enjoy getting outside and going for your walks. When you want to start challenging yourself, obviously you can throw on a ruck. That's just a military term for a big backpack. I have here a pretty expensive Eberly stock F1 backpack. I have at least 1,000 miles, if not 1,200 at this point, of just PT miles walked in this rucksack. It is a fantastic ruck. It's very comfortable. Really, you can use any backpack as your rucksack, but if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get very comfortable rucks that distribute weight very well and handle the weight very well. So this ruck does that. It doesn't fit with my light fighter gear very well. So I just keep this loaded with a steel plate and some heavy weighted blankets. It's currently a total weight of 70 pounds. Now for me, that's about 35% of my body weight. I weigh about 210, maybe a little plussed up right now. But 35% is a little heavy. If you're a fine walker or a runner or an athletic person and you want to challenge yourself, the standard ruck weight is about 20% of your body weight. I think the timed events in the military are with 35-pound packs or 45-pound packs. So those are kind of your standards. Why do I have 70? Well, because it's been wintertime. I've been going slower. I haven't been adding any shuffling to my runs. It's been snowy out. I've been wearing more clothing, and I've just been moving slower. So pretty soon as the weather gets nicer, I'm going to drop my ruck weight a little bit, and we're going to start adding some more speed to my rucks to cross-train that a little bit. As well, over here, I have a little weighted vest. This one's just a 511 Tech. You don't have to buy a tactical brand at all. You can buy a CrossFit brand. Just spend where it's affordable, okay? Inside here, each, I believe they're like 15 or 20-pound steel plates. It's a pretty hefty little vest. But if you watch all Demo Ranch and all that stuff, RIP Demo Ranch, but if you watch all those guys, you'll find out these are actually hilariously pretty bulletproof for just being steel workout plates. Again, this is not my tactical vest. This is just a workout vest. And I like wearing that sometimes if I know I'm going to be at a run or a jog. The ruck is a little bit higher impact, and it's also the weight distribution's better sometimes if it's just strapped on your shoulders. Now, if it's a really long distance, the ruck is more comfortable. But if you're going fast and short distance, sometimes the weight vest is good. So it's good to have a variety. Another hilariously overlooked piece of equipment, fitness equipment that I think a lot of grown men just cruise on by is the jump rope. Boxers jump rope, they're badass. Jumping rope doesn't make you a Susie Q. And I think it's a great way to get some high intensity interval training in when you're stuck inside or in one place. As long as your ceiling's tall enough and you got a place to stand, you can use a jump rope. Jumping rope is, I think, best done when you got some good music to listen to and try to stay to a beat. So if you're just starting jumping rope, my tips is find some music you like and then find something with a beat slower than 100, around 90 or 80, some AC/DC or something like that. They've got a nice steady slow pace, and just try to keep pace with that song, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Also, when you're buying a jump rope, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but the more money you spend, just like on anything, the better rope you get. I would encourage that if you're starting just jumping rope, look for a beaded rope. I know it looks ridiculous, or get a PVC rope. They are slower and they actually provide more air resistance and they have a little bit more weight. So they are a lot easier to learn to skip on. Once you get a little bit more advanced, the leather ropes, or they've got some multi-weight ropes like this. This one's sold with a couple different weights of cord, and you can get going, get your speed up and start practicing different rhythms. And then finally, when you're really advanced and you're a good skipper, you're very comfortable under the rope, you can get yourself a wire rope or a speed rope. These ones are made by Ethos, which I think is the Academy Sports knockoff brand of Rogue. really, when you start using these a lot, you're gonna appreciate having nice bearings in these. So, and also having it sized to you. Real quick to size these things, I think this one's mine. You just take it and you step on it with 1 foot, and you wanna go up to your nipples. You see 1 foot up to my nipples. So with the red markings, red spray paint, this is my rope. That's how you size your rope, 1 foot, or if you need a little bit more space, you're just beginning, you can go 2 ropes or 2 feet in there and then up to your nipples. All right, guys, last thing I'd tell you to go seek out is a good pull-up bar, somewhere you can hang and do pull-ups from, okay? You don't have to have a pull-up bar, but they're not that expensive. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace. People are selling them or getting rid of them. You can get the over-the-door hanging versions and hang those on some studs. Those all work fine. Or you can just go to some unfinished part of your basement or your garage and find a wooden stud to hang off of. And up we go. Get some pull-ups in. Oh, I'm only doing 2. So I did pull-ups yesterday and I'm fat. All right, don't mind me, I moved my real pull-up bar. Now, if you have trouble doing pull-ups as I do, I highly encourage to invest in some of these fitness resistance bands. A good set of these doesn't cost more than 20 bucks. I call them fat boy bands because I use them to assist me in getting up and doing pull-ups. So a great way if you have a rack is to fix them on either side, but if you just have a pull-up bar, just loop it over like this, throw a knee in it, and now you can do some assisted pull-ups. All right, so you've started your fitness journey, you've got some of the basic equipment, you've got a good pair of shoes, you started doing some cardio, you started lifting some heavy odd objects, and we want to enhance your workouts a little bit. You're ready to get into some nicer equipment. The first thing I would encourage you to buy is like some dumbbells, with a weight that challenges you, or a good heavy kettlebell. Again, a weight that you can challenge yourself with. Again, don't go too heavy. Make sure it's something you can do, like a 40 or 35 for most men, or a 20 to 25 for strong women. But get something you can do different things with. This little 30 is a perfect example. There's plenty of one-arm motions you can do that'll give you a workout, and you can look up kettlebell workouts, you can look up dumbbell workouts that are fantastic. So the next piece of equipment that's going to really enhance your dumbbells or your kettlebells is going to be a bench. There's a ton of stuff you can use the bench for, laying motions, seated motions, pressing, all sorts of stuff, guys. Tons of exercises. Utilize a bench as your primary method of supporting your body. So you get a set of dumbbells, you can start doing some bench presses, you can start doing some seated rows, you can start doing seated curls, you can start doing all sorts of stuff with a bench. So I think a bench is a fantastic buy. Now, you don't have to spend too much money like I did. Shout out to Rep. Please sponsor me. But you guys can find a pretty affordable weight bench for around $100 online or on Facebook or on Marketplace, stuff like that. People are always selling gym equipment. Just make sure you don't buy something too flimsy. If you're a big Midwestern boy like me, make sure you get something that can support both your weight and the weight you intend to be lifting on top of it. So if you got a big 225 bench press and you're a 200 pounder like me, you're gonna need a bench that'll support probably 500 pounds. Now, if you got the money, I think having some adjustability in your bench press is fantastic. This bench press goes from a very steep angle, all the way seated straight up to all the way laying down, as well as the tail kicks up into some positions that, keep you in your seat when you're doing some presses. Adjustability is fantastic, but it is not required. I think just having a good flat bench is a good staple because there's tons of stuff you can do just seated on here. You can do just presses on here. You can do your laying motions on here, or you can use it to support a leg for lunges, or you can squat onto it if you're a sissy. Whew. Oh yeah, as you can see, I was holding a full iron cross. Let me reset the camera here. All right, I've reset the camera and lowered the rings. Guys, another great piece of equipment I think you should get that doesn't cost a lot of money is some either gymnast rings or these TRD suspension straps that I happen to be hanging my rings from. The TRD straps come with like some soft grips. I really like the rings. I think they're cool, and you can do iron crosses. The rings shouldn't cost you much, 10, 15 bucks. You can get them even in like a arts and crafts store. And don't buy the name brand straps. It's just nylon webbing and stitched together. You can really get it anywhere. They shouldn't cost you more than 20, 25 bucks. Woo, I'm exhausted from that iron cross. So you ask, why rings and why straps, guys? These are kind of like, I'd call them the dumbbells of the pull-up bar, okay? You don't have that stabilization anymore, so you have to do it yourself. These are excellent for doing pull-ups or you can lean back and do like an inclined row from your feet like that. That is great workout for people who can't do pull-ups, or if you want to get those extra sets in once you're already a little exhausted. There's tons of workouts you can do with these straps. Look them up on YouTube. I'm not the fitness guy, but these are really affordable, and I think they're a fantastic thing to have hanging from your ceiling. All right, so you got all your standard equipment and you're ready to spend some money. The next thing I would probably encourage you to start looking at is a barbell and some weights. Now, what barbell do you get? I would encourage you to get an Olympic barbell, 45-pound standard Olympic barbell. There are some other crappier, thinner ones out there. These are the gold standard in powerlifting, weightlifting, CrossFit. Pretty much everywhere is the Olympic 45-pound or some kilo weight barbell. So I would encourage you to get that. Now these can get expensive. They can get up in the $200s, $300s, $400s for the fancy ones with all the fancy ball bearings and crap. You don't need that. I got this one off Facebook Marketplace for I think $45, and that is a steal. So if you can find one for around $50 or less than 100, pick it up. They're good to have and they hold their value as long as you don't break them. Mine has actually even been repaired with just some aftermarket hardware because it did break at one point before I owned it. What comes with the barbell is you have to buy some weights. As you can see over my shoulders, finding weights can be difficult because weight is, one, it's expensive because it is just material, and two, it's expensive to ship because it's weight. So I'd encourage you to look at your local shops for weight if you want to buy new or if you're going to buy new. Typical prices range from about $1.50 to $2.50 a pound when you buy brand new weights. I got these on a deal at Walmart, believe it or not, and I think I paid about $1 a pound for all my bumper plates that I have. What do you buy? I'd encourage you to get a set of 45s, skip the 35s, get a set of 25s, and then the nickels and the dimes are really where you're going to be able to push yourself and make those changes. Plus, it's your own equipment, so you don't have to worry about anybody else needing it. Once you start getting big and strong, a second set of 45s. Again, you don't need 35s at all. I think they're useless. And maybe another set of 25s, but again, that's not necessary once you have a single set of 25s. There are plenty of movements that you can do with just a bench and a barbell, or just a barbell by itself off the ground, and I think it's awesome. I oftentimes, when I don't have a rack, I just do lightweight squats off the ground. I pick it up, I clean it, I put it on my shoulders, and then I do squats with it until I'm exhausted, and then you just heave it to the ground, or you just heave it to the ground. And that's a great workout. But if you are ready to step up into the big leagues and spend a little bit more money, as you can look behind me, I have my POWA RACK. So when it comes to a POWA RACK, what do you want to look for? The first thing and the most important thing is it's got to be a stable platform, and it's got to be able to support the weight and be designed for the weight that you're going to be utilizing it for. That is the most critical, and that's a safety factor. Plenty of people have died working out by themselves in their garage. I shouldn't laugh, it's serious. Don't die in your garage by yourself working out. It's not cool. Other things that you need in a rack. First off, you don't need a full rack like I have. There are wall-mounted options that have some arms that are fantastic. I actually have arms on the front of my full rack because I'm super lazy and I just leave them set where I want them. But what you do want to have in your rack, first and primarily, is your safety rails. I have rails. Some big boys use nylon straps. Some people just have bars down here. Anything that's designed for the weight you're using it for is okay. Again, I like the safety rack that you can change different heights. However, if you are just a freak or a monster and you squat so much, you can get racks that are just welded to the height that they are, and that's fine if that's your height. So if you're a welder out there and you want to make your own power rack or squat rack, it's pretty easy. Just get some spare scrap metal and get to welding. Find a height that works for you and set it and forget it. However, if you're not a freak or a freak squatter or a welder, you're probably going to find a power rack. So find something that's got adjustable heights so your buddies can come over and squat as well, or you can change the height to do your bench press in. So the next thing you're going to need is a good set of hooks or horns. These are basically just something that holds the weight at your ready position. So if you're going to squat, you get it up high, or if you're going to bench, it's behind your head and above you. And this is where you clean the weight off of and begin your exercise. Not 100% necessary, but I think if you already got the power rack, most racks come with these, and it's something you definitely want. Again, make sure you got some sturdy, strong ones. This whole power rack, I bought myself. It's from Rep Fitness. Shout out Rep Fitness, it's fantastic, sponsor me. All right, so once you're already spending a bunch of money on a power rack and bumper plates and barbells and stuff like that, it's time to start considering filling out your dumbbell collection so you can, just get a little bit finer tuned on your workouts, okay? So dumbbells are expensive and dumbbell sets are incredibly expensive. When you get up to like a full set from, the 5s to 100-pound dumbbells, you're talking thousands of dollars. So I encourage you to be selective about when and where you buy your dumbbells. Try to find them used and try to find them for about $1 a pound again. That's a good going rate. As you can see, this little set I got here, this was sold at Costco and they still have them this season. This is a fantastic set for, I think, around 200 bucks. I think it's almost less than $1 a pound. So you can get this at Costco and this has been fantastic. It goes from 5 to 30 in 5-pound increments. Now those are pretty light, but they didn't cost me a ton of money. And then I also got some 50s right here. I really want to grab some 40s and probably some 60s to start working my way up. I kind of just duck the 5-pound increments because it gets, again, very expensive. But dumbbells and then a full kettlebell set as well if you like your kettlebell workouts. Now, as GruntProof says, cardio is free, but exercise equipment is not. However, these two pieces of equipment right here, my assault bike and my rower, are much more likely to save my ass in a real emergency than any of the special fancy high-speed equipment I have behind me. Now, when you start looking at indoor cardio equipment, it's really kind of pick your poison and you do get what you pay for. Again, you can find some excellent used options that are available, but the high quality equipment holds its value. This is a Rogue assault bike. This is the standard bike that's used in CrossFit, the CrossFit games, and the tactical games, all those competitions. It's an excellent piece of equipment. It's good because it can standardize workouts to calories or distance, and you can use it to gauge against other competitors. But you don't need to spend this much. A little Schwinn Airdyne bike can cost you as little as $200, $300, especially if you're able to find them used, and that's a great ass kicker. Now, this is a newer piece of equipment for me. This is the Rogue Echo rower or assault rower. I don't know if they call it an assault. Who knows? It's black, so we're going to call it the assault rower. For a long time in the industry, the C2 or Concept 2 rower has been the golden standard. They took a bunch of the features from that and they put it in their rower. So far, it's been fantastic. These rowers are an excellent ass kicker. Again, just like the bike, they can be standardized for competition. And the C2 is the one that's used in competition these days, but I've got a hunch that Rogue is trying to break into that marketplace. This one does cost less than the C2. Again, but these rowers that are of high quality, they hold their value. So a brand new C2 is going to cost you about $1,100, $1,200 to your door. Finding one used for about $800 is a good deal. This one cost me about $800 to my door. So I went ahead and went with that just based off the amount I actually row, which is only semi-frequently. But again, indoor fitness equipment, kind of have to pick your poison. It's not necessary, but if you have the money, it's excellent because you can go do a set of squats and then you can hop over on the bike, bust out 10 calories, keep your heart rate up, and then back to the squats or back to the deadlifts. All right, guys, one of the last things I'd encourage you to buy, or if you have more muscle cells than brain cells, or more money than problems, is going to be a cable machine or a functional trainer. Now, a cable machine is pretty simple. I've got this one built into my squat rack. This is made by Rep Fitness. Shout out Rep Fitness, please sponsor me. And what makes this a quote-unquote functional trainer is it's got a second station over there, just right about there, that we can hook up two-armed equipment, or we can do some crossovers and stuff like that. Now, if you don't have the money to spend, I don't encourage you to buy cables. However, if you've been to a gym with cable equipment, they are very nice. Using cables is just a fantastic way to work out. It's a great way to just move resistance around. You can now get provided resistance from different angles from above. When it comes to functional trainers, you're usually going to spend a lot of money. There's usually no way around it because they usually have weight stacks in the back. As you can see, this one is a little bit more of an affordable option because what it has is just some T-arms for weight plates. So I was able to save a good amount of money on both shipping and actual physical weight because I didn't buy them. They just put those arms on there and then I can put my bumper plates on there. So I was able to save a little bit of money doing that, and I think that's excellent. But if you've got all the money to spend, a functional trainer is an excellent piece of equipment to have to do all sorts of different exercises. Look them up. All right, guys, after you have the functional trainer, you pretty much have everything you need. There are plenty of awesome attachments that can go on your squat rack and plenty of other cool gym equipment. And there's excellent channels that show off all this cool gym stuff. Again, I'm just trying to go over the essentials and working our way up to a pretty nice home gym. A couple items that I'd love to have in the future is obviously a bigger set of dumbbells. We only go up to 30s. I'd love to have it set up to 100s, even though I can't lift those, but that's not necessary. Also, some other cardio equipment that I love, but it's very expensive. The assault runners are awesome. They're a great way to burn some calories and run indoors if you do like running. They are very expensive. Also, as a firefighter, I love the stair climber, the tread stairs, not the fake one that you pump your legs, but the actual moving staircase. Those are excellent for burning a ton of calories. It's S-tier cardio. And again, you can also find treadmills pretty available. Now, the walk pads these days are very cheap. I'm not a huge fan of the walk pad because I like walking outdoors. And my favorite feature about a treadmill is that it inclines up to 15 to 30 degrees and can really provide you that non-stop hill climb cardio. So if you got the money or the space for a treadmill that you can crank up an incline on, that is badass. If you've got the money for a tread climber or a stair climber, those are super sweet. Other things that we have at work that are awesome that I'd love to have, heavy sandbags are awesome, but again, they are heavy, they're not used in every workout. Sleds are excellent for pushing and dragging, battle ropes, or just a good rope climb. Those are all awesome pieces of equipment. They all make your workout a little bit more fun. And I think having fun when you're working out is one of the most critical factors in keeping yourself consistent and going to the gym every day and making it part of your lifestyle. So I hope this was a little bit more of a deep dive into some gym equipment. I was inspired by GruntProof, so shout out to GruntProof. Go check out his video. He's got some excellent advice on some barbell stuff. Other than that, guys, I hope you had no fun. I hope you didn't learn a damn thing. And shout out to your mothers. Respect.